I'm Scottish. I am sorry if you can't understand me, and I'm sorry if I am a bit rusty on this YouTube film because it is so strange talking to my camera right now. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the products that I'm going to be using in the video first, just so that you can make sure you've got them to hand, or if you've got similar ones, then give them a try first before you go out and buy new ones, because that's just going to be extra expense. So the first thing that I use in this video is the Illamasqua Brow Cake in Thunder. It is just a powder, it's a dark brown shade, so you can literally use any other powder, or you could use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, which I know is very popular. And the brush that I use for that has went missing. Hey, here we go. So the brush that I use for that is amazing. It's the Peaches and Cream PC09. Fantastic eyebrow brush. So inexpensive but great quality. It's only £4.50. I went and checked on the website. And I usually buy one for my kit and one for me, and then, you know, if it gets a bit old and whatever, bashed up in your makeup bag, you can literally just pick up another one. So I really would recommend that. It's got your little spoolie on the end and your really nice sharp angled brush, which is what you need for this video. So definitely get one of them if you haven't already got one. Then we're going to be using soap. So don't knock it till you've tried it. This was a huge trend on YouTube last year, which when I first heard about it, I was kind of thinking, what the hell, because we used to use it at college to cover up people's brows and block out brows, so it's just a bit backwards. But honestly, since I've been using this, I've seen a huge difference in my eyebrow routine, and it is just Pears transparent soap. My box is a bit bashed up because I've used it so much, and that's what it looks like there. So it is literally a bar of soap. As I said before, it's transparent, so it doesn't have any colouring in it at all. Whereas if you were to go out and use bar of Dove soap or whatever, it's going to look really white on your brow, which is not what you want. So Pears soap, so cheap. It is literally like an eyebrow gel in block form. Why would you ever say no to that? With the soap, we're going to need some water, so I just pop some in a little squishy bottle that I got from Superdrug. You can get them Primark anywhere. And last but not least, spoolies. So mascara wands, spoolies, whatever you like to call them. I just have a bag of them because I do like to use one for working up the soap and one clean, so eventually you'll run out of clean ones obviously. So I like to just grab a bag of them. They're a couple of pounds from Amazon or eBay or whatever, so definitely pick up some of them. And the last thing that I like to use is a concealer. So usually a pot poured concealer is what I like to use because it's dry, it's easier to use than a liquidy concealer. And a MAC 212 brush, so a really small precise brush for carving out under the brows. So those are all the products that you're going to need to create these brows. They're really nice and fluffy but still defined. So if you want to know how I created the brow, then please keep watching. So I'm going to be showing you how I've got this brow to look more like this brow. As you can see, it's really full, it's really fluffy, it's not particularly over-groomed. I like my brows to be quite rustic, shall we say. I don't like them to be too defined or anything like that, and I found that this technique is a way that I can get them looking really fluffy and defined but quite soft as well. So I would recommend not getting them trimmed or anything like that. If you're somebody who gets HD brows, then just avoid getting the tops of them trimmed, and the reason for that is because we like them to be brushed up. And when you brush them up and they're trimmed, it'll just kind of be really harsh, whereas if you let them go free, you'll get the best effect. First of all, I'm going to take my Illamasqua Eyebrow Cake in Thunder. It's a really dark brown powder, and you could use any sort of thick product here that's going to give you a full coverage. And of course, to make sure that we get that nice fluffy look, I'm just going to start by brushing my brow hair up. I've actually left this brow to be the one that I do on camera because I've got a really dodgy hack in it, a little bald patch from where I've overplucked. So this will show you how effective the technique is. I'm just going to pop some of this on my brush, don't be shy. And this is the Peaches and Cream eyebrow definer, which I've talked about before. It's really, really good, so definitely pick some of these up. Because I want the front of my brow to be really soft, I'm going to carve out under the brow, but I'm going to just leave the front section. So I'm going to start from about here, and I'm going to place my brush direct onto the skin this way, not this way or this way, straight onto the skin, so that we can get a really nice clean line. So just from about here, I'm going to start following around my brow. Just go back for more product as you go, as you need. And I'm just going to keep following that round my own brow shape. As I get to this bit here, I do kind of need to turn my wrist to adjust to the shape of my brow. So I'm just turning my wrist and following that round. You want to make sure that you get every single hair in here, so make sure you can actually see how far down you want to come. If you've not come down far enough at this point, you can go back to the beginning and kind of carve down further. Or that's another way that you can thicken up your brow as well, is go in underneath your brow precisely and then come back and go up and go down a little bit further. I'm just going to take a look at that line and make sure that it's the same amount of darkness the whole way along, and if it's not, just add a little bit more product. And when you get to the end of the brow, you want to kind of use this tip of the brush here, and that's going to help you to get a really nice pointed end. I don't like when you can see the brow and it's kind of just like boom, it's finished. I like it to kind of be tapered out towards the edge. So using the tip of the brush is going to give you that effect. So I'm quite happy with that little line. I'm just going to fill in a little bit more here, because I've got some random hairs down here that I just don't know what to do with. It's probably a good time for me to say I couldn't find my tweezers before this video, so not ideal. I have got slightly hairier under here than I would normally like, but again, with the ungroomed theme, it's all good. That's me got the line carved out under my eyebrow. I do feel like I like this step because, as I said, I like my brows to be quite defined, but I still want to be fluffy, and this is what's going to give us that starting point. On to the next step. I'm going to be using the Maybelline brow pencil, as I spoke about before, and I'm just going to be brushing up my brow here again. Probably do this about 100 times in this video. And I'm just going to start from where I've done my carved outline. I'm going to just literally use really feathery motions and draw in brow hairs. That's going to give us the best effect for a nice fluffy brow. I'm kind of following the body of the brow. I'm not actually going above it or anything at the moment. And I'm just going all the way along, and I'm really, really light on my pressure. I would suggest practicing your pressure on the back of your hand first, so that you can kind of get a feel for the pencil. Every pencil is different. Keep going all the way along towards the end. So that's me kind of filled in the body of the brow. I'm now just going to go slightly above the hair, just so that it kind of ties in when I've brushed up the hair. Just at the top here. And round to the corner. I do like to bring this part of my brow out a little bit. I have got, the tail of my brow is quite thin, so, you know, kind of pulling it out a little bit more here. That's perfect. And just keep brushing it up as you need. So I think brushing it up kind of makes you help to see if it's all sort of blended. So I'm quite happy with that. That's the main part of my brow filled in. And now I'm going to go back to the front. So when we're doing the front, we want to have a really, really light pressure here, because Again, heavy pressure is going to make it look really unnatural, especially at the front of the brow. You want it to look really, really soft. I don't like the front of my brow to look square. I feel like that's a trend that needs to go. Starting from where I left off and just literally just tickling it with the brow pencil. Sounds a bit mad, but trust me, it's the only way. And you can see that my hair strokes are actually smaller as well at the front. Cool. This is your opportunity to just check back over the brow and make sure that you're happy with how dark it is all the way along. If you see any gaps, go fill them in. This is the part where I'm always kind of adding a little bit more in my wee baldy patch. I should probably avoid saying wee because only the Scottish people will be on my wavelength here. Moving on to the next step, we want to make these brows look fluffy. This is what we came for. Going in with our soap and give it a few squishes here and work the soap into a little bit of a paste. That's what it should look like. It's kind of it's quite a thick sort of texture. So just take your little paste and brush up the brow here. This is the part where you want to be really light. You don't actually want to disturb the product, you're just wanting to put it on the brow here. So just try and be really, really light with your pressure here. Just going to get a little bit more paste. If you get any little blobs of soap, just try and like pull them out because you don't want that. And then this is a step that I find most crucial because it does look a little bit crazy at the moment. So by grabbing a clean spoolie and just dragging it along the top, just kind of pulling down the edges of the brow here, that kind of just manipulates them into the shape that you want them. So if this is still too crazy for you, you can pull them down slightly more into place and they'll still look really fluffy. So just keep manoeuvring that here where I want it to be. And then if I see any little bits of soap, now is the time to kind of just go in and get them out. But I'm pretty happy with the way that that looks. Cool. The final step is just to go in and clean up underneath the brow. This step is optional, but I do find it makes the most difference. If I'm kind of just in a rush in the morning, I want my fluffy brow on, but I maybe don't have spare time to do this step, I'll just skip it. I'm going to grab the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in Custard and my MAC 212 brush. Great wee brush, absolutely fab. Pop some on my brush and I'm literally just going to work right underneath. A lot of makeup artists use a really large brush for this section, which is fine if you're working on someone else, but I do find if you're working on your own face, you know, you've got a little bit less room when you've got your eye open, so using something like this is absolutely fab. I'll just start from the front and I'm literally just going to draw a line underneath our previous line that we've made. So that's that. I'm now just going to pull down the concealer towards my eye. Perfect, and now I'm just going to grab a clean 252 MAC brush and blend out any sort of harsh edges. As you can see on this brow it looks really soft and blended out, and in this one it looks a bit crazy, so I'm just going to blend that out. So really gentle in your pressure there. Cool, so the last thing that I like to do is just obviously just pat down the hair. I like to let the soap dry a little bit before I do that so that I don't feel it on my hands. And it just makes sure that the hair is in place and kind of sticks it more to your head so that it doesn't move even more, which is always what we want. So this is the finished brow look. I hope that you like it. As I said, it's quite a rustic, ungroomed brow tutorial, something that I love. If you have liked this tutorial and you want to see some more, please let me know what kind of looks you would like to see. Normally I have been doing tutorials on my clients, but I'm going to be mixing it up, doing some on myself and some on my clients, and that way I can kind of talk you through it a little bit better than what I could do in my previous videos. Sorry that I've said 100 times, I'm just getting used to this. And I'll see you in the next video.